Yeah, this essay, this is our priestess Yashodhara Singh. Welcome viewers. Today we have an exciting topic, something that a lot of you have doubts, and I'm going to attempt to clarify them. Some of you who may not know what exactly are you practicing, and some of you who know exactly what you're practicing. So I'm going to cover everything in 2 videos. Let me see how much I can. I don't want to stuff a video with information and then cause an overload for you all, but I am going to try and fit in as much relevant, important information as I can, right? So let's begin with the topic. As you know, is switch words. I'm going to attempt 3 or 4 subtopics in this. So basically you'll want to know what are they, who made them, what are switch word phrases, and what are the benefits. That will be the video you're watching right now. The second video is a few days later, in which we will have some more important information about switch words. Let's begin with what are switch words. Have you seen this when you walk into a room, right? There's a switchboard. Any room will have a switchboard and there'll be switches on it. Now, assuming that we all conserve electricity, and you who are watching this video are one of them, you enter a room which is dark, and then you switch on the light, the particular switch that will switch on the light, the room light, and the room illuminates. What have you essentially done? You have changed the setup of the room from everything else is the same, but now you can see better. Things are more clear. The light, the room is lit. The room was dark earlier. So switch words are words which can be used to change or alter your reality into something that you want. Okay? So if you are here and you want to be here, you say a particular switch word, and from here you come to here. It's as simple as that. Of course, practice करने में तो फर्क पड़ता है, but the literal meaning of a switch word is that, okay? Words that can switch energy between dimensions. So from one dimension to another. You are here where you require something, and this is where you need to be, you want to be, you must be. So you will reach there providing you say that particular relevant switch word. So again, the example of the dark room and switching on the room light. This is a universal fact that a lot of people who delve with words, white magic, who delve with anything that uses words as a powerful weapon, they believe words have enormous, tremendous powers to change and alter the energy. If you walk up to somebody and say hello, and if they look into your eyes and they see that you genuinely are smiling at them, they'll smile back. So even a hello or a thank you, said at the right time, said with the right sort of emotion, the right kind of feeling, the right kind of ambience, to the right kind of person, will click and work in your favor. So any word can be a switch word. I know a lot of you think that there must be some kind of a PDF file or some kind of a book that we can buy with. Of course, everybody has come out with tried and tested switch words. A lot of people have come out with words which they have seen has worked, not just on them, but in general. We call them master switch words, and believe it or not, it's used a lot in spell casting. All you Wiccans who are watching this video will also be aware of it. Now, when I say any word can be a switch word, this has to be a word that it's not related with tenses, so don't panic there. But what I'm looking at essentially here is that it should mean something. Forget whether it's a verb or a noun or a adverb, it doesn't matter. It should mean something, and it should mean something which is relevant to that particular situation in your life, which is cracked, that you want to fix, right? So there are certain criteria that are met before a switch word is created or invented, and anyone can do it. But you have to first wait and watch this video and then the other video, because we will come to this later. Right now, let's just understand what we are talking about here. What are we getting ourselves into? Okay? Oh my Lord. Okay. The mental frequency of a person changes if you use the correct switch word. Say for example, you're driving your car, the traffic is completely congested, you've hit a bottleneck, you want to get out of the car and ask, hello, why is the traffic jam? But you're too afraid that if you step out, you'll probably get a heat stroke. It's so hot or dry or humid. And then you come back and you sit down and you switch on the air conditioning in your car and you start listening to soothing music. You'll notice how you start feeling calm and you look around and you say, hey, I'm not the only one here, there are more people. Or I'm expressing gratitude that I'm not one of the people who's out there trying to earn a living in this heat. So what we are looking at here is the mental frequency changes when you use a switch word. In this case, it is gratitude, right? So that's also, so words which switch you from where you are to where you need to be is a switch word, right? So I'm just citing examples. For those of you who understand what are beej mantras or seed mantras, and for those of you who don't, so beej mantras or seed mantras are essentially your absolutely pure Sanskrit shloks, which are the point of origin from which words are taken and used. Okay, so for example, I don't know if it resounds with you or not, but I'll tell you the one that we use very often for spell casting. Om Hing Dung Durgai Namaha. So it's Om Hing Dung Durgai Namaha. Okay, you have some words which sounds like clean and then fat and then swaha. So a lot of these words together or separately don't make any sense. But here, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are looking at the vibration and the frequency that improves our aura, gives us protection, and increases our level up to a point where, you know, you're there, and once your level comes up, you're there. And so when you're up here, the only thing you can do is be a better version of this, right? So that's what beej mantras essentially were designed to do. It has always been about the vibration and the frequency in the human anatomy. You want to call it Wicca, you want to call it Neotic science, you want to call it esoteric science, occultism, you want to call it advanced science, anything, I don't care. Yoga even, Brahmari pranayam, right, where you take out vibrations with the sound or the Om sound. Please remember, all these are used to alter the frequency and the vibration of the human being so that you reach a higher version and are able to achieve what it is that you worked for. Okay, so you can call switch words essentially as beej mantras, just like beej mantras or seed mantras are used in Hinduism and Buddhism to create manifestation words, of power, words for positivity, words to remove negative energy, so on and so forth. Switch words do the exact same thing. Okay? Now, anything which can switch your energy is a switch thing. Anything which can switch your energy, which means it could be a person, right? So say your pet's name, or a pet's name, and who you either have or who has passed on, who brings a smile on your face. Immediately your mood uplifts, you remember something funny. A friend's name, a person's name like I mentioned, your spouse's name, something that you like to eat, a sweet, an ice cream, a chocolate, some particular dish. So when I am looking at a switch word to make myself feel better, I'm not going to open a PDF format or hunt down the net. I'm going to see how does this word make me feel. Pen, utility, right? Used for writing. This is not even mine. But, well, The point I'm trying to make here is that before you come up with a switch word, you first have to understand how does it make you feel. So if it makes you feel happy, it makes you feel blessed, it makes you feel good, and you feel ticklish and you giggle and you laugh, that's what you're going for, okay? Even gratitude is great. So don't go for words which make you feel any negative emotion, sadness, anger, etc. They are not going to work, and you should not even go in that direction. That's negative energy, right? A movie, a song, feeling, person, all are switch things that you can use to get what you want, because it puts you in a place where your feelings control your vibration and bring you up to a point where you want to be, and can increase your powers of manifestation. Now let's understand switch words with real life examples. Like I told you, friends, spouse, thinking of a friend. The name of a friend could be a great switch word. Spouse, great switch word, providing your spouse is and you are in good relations. Your child's name, mother's name, anyone who you are close to or who makes you feel. What are you looking for? Are you looking for protection? Think about who do you feel safe with? Your parent, your husband, what? No, so think of that. A canine, a pet of yours that you used to have when you were small. You have the name and immediately it goes into a mental slot. Remember, everything that belongs to the land of the occult always works through the subconscious. The conscious part of your head is the right side, of course, logic, that always tries to reason out things and most of the time creates quite a dump. The left side, your cerebral side, is the land of the subconscious, and all that we aim to do, including switch words, goes to the left, okay? So just a little tidbit example. A deity, an idol you worship, you have some guru you follow, and the name of a guru you follow. Now all these can be used either separately or together. We'll come to that as well, but these are important because they make you emote, they make you feel, so they are important in your life. It's that word that switches you from where you are to where you want to be, right? I hope it's clear. So basically switch words are of two kinds. One is the basic switch word, which is a single word, and then you have a master switch word. These are used with switch word phrases, okay? We'll come to that as well. So I think we've finished with the first part. Now let's move on to who Mr. James T Mangan was. Mr. James T Mangan was born in 1896 and he passed on in 1970. He was an eccentric PR man, also authored several books, and he had a moon craze. That's another story altogether. Now he came up with the concept of switch words while he was writing self-help topics, because he said, why are we looking everywhere else to feel good about what really matters to us? I'll cite an example for you to make you understand what I'm talking about. A glass of water when you come back from the heat makes you feel good because you have quenched your thirst, right? You were parched, you were thirsty, you had a glass of water. If you were to have that glass of water after having been in a surrounding where you were not sweating, you were quite comfortable, you won't understand the value. So if you say water when you are in the heat, and if you say water when you are in a conducive surrounding, it'll make you feel different. It'll make you feel very different. So that's what he was trying to teach, and that's what he was trying to get at, and a lot of people started following and believing that what he was teaching was good for them, right? So James T Mangan was literally the father of switch words, and then people picked it up and now it's international, of course. So that's who this gentleman is. Let's move on to what the third point is. What are switch word phrases? You all know what is a phrase, I assume. So a phrase is two or more words that are joined together, right? Which may or may not make sense. Here I'm going to go out on a limb and say that a switch word phrase or an SWP is a phrase in which even if you put 2 to 3 words, they don't have to make sense. In fact, most of the time, 99.9% of the time, they don't make sense. But they are put together because of the requirement of that particular wish fulfillment, right? And of course, you have master switch words as well. But a switch word phrase is a combination made into a phrase form for the desired result. You want money, you have a switch word phrase for money. You want your career to boost, you have a switch word phrase for that. You want, again, it has to be what works for me may not work for you, or what works for me may work for you in a subtle manner, maybe not with that kind of a crazy impact. Okay, so don't think that काम नहीं कर रहा मेरे लिए. वो काम नहीं कर रहा है क्योंकि आपने कहीं से गूगल में देखा है या किसी ने आपको बोला है. Why don't you try this? Trying it with the effort and then not getting the kind of result that you want. I understand how frustrating it is, but these really work, providing you know how to design your own switch words. That's why I'm here to teach you that. All right, so that's now. I would advise that you use one word, tops 3 words to make a switch word phrase. Don't cross it, okay? One to single hi ho gaya, but don't cross 3 words, because any more than 3 words and you're complicating the whole process. You see, the universe needs to focus on what you have asked for. You have created a demand by creating this 3 or less word switch word phrase, and you've placed that demand out to the universe. Let the universe take care of it and give it to you. Any more and you're complicating the process, you're confusing the universe, right? And you don't want to do that. The lesser the words, the simpler and the better it is. In case you have multiple wishes, completely understandable, you may want more than one thing at one particular point of time, and it's not something which is against the law of the universe. In fact, we do believe that a lot of us fall in that category. Okay, so you want your family to be healthy, you want to be professionally successful, you want everyone to be safe and sound, who matter to you and who don't, I assume. So you have multiple demands. You can break it into smaller chunks. There's no need to have a massive meatloaf, right? You can break it into smaller chunks and then design. You see, if you try to encompass or take an entire bubble of, oh, if I say this, I will get everything. ऐसा कोई गुरु मंत्र है नहीं, और अगर आप लोग use कर रहे हो, you will always get things in bits and pieces, in portions, but the whole thing will not be given to you. Why? Because the universe can do just as much at that point of time, right? So remember that. So whatever your demands are, 2, 3, 4, break it up into chunks. I would advise that you write it down somewhere and list the priority, 1, 2, 3, 4. Start with the first, then second, then third, then fourth, right? Try that and it works. Okay, pretty sure I've crossed my time limit, but let me see if I can squeeze in one more. No, I cannot. So I'll see you guys in the next video. This one is going to be far more interesting. This one was the basic, all about switch words. But what I'm about to get into right now is something that you all need to probably keep a pen and paper and pause the video at a time where I tell you you need to write it down, because this is like the masterclass of switch words and it is going to be helpful. I'll teach you how to design your own switch words, and I will tell you a little bit more about what are master switch words. So we'll see you in the next video, the next part of this video. Until then, be at SA.